Last week, I explained why we expect Aussie to go down and what exactly would happen to Aussie before it goes down. So we're still in the consolidation. And if you look at the last 3 webinars I did, you should probably still go check them out. I'm explaining what is happening with Aussie in the consolidation and why it's still a consolidation and how this consolidation can change from a simple pattern to a much more complex one. And if you're following it step by step, you would see how we are looking at this pattern in terms of wave analysis, how we are trading it, and how we're expecting every next move to happen. So I think last week we were somewhere here coming down, and I said, be careful because there will be a correction, which means this will correct. It will come here, and then it will probably go back up like that. There was a slight flag here, which means it didn't go as much as we expected. So it came down some more. There was a small sell setup here, very small trade. I warn my traders, you can take the trade, but you'll have to get out really quick because if you see, I have this arrow here, which is what we expected to happen. And once that happened, you can expect it to drop. So we have an entry order here. This entry order is outdated in that it should have been updated. And if you were trading, you would be in that trade already. But since it's Friday afternoon, my traders were close trade. So what would happen to this again? Now, remember, you're still in the consolidation. And if you understand wave analysis theory and the depth of how it goes, this doesn't mean you're going to break out. This will eventually break out, but just dropping here doesn't mean you're going to break out of the structure. You could come here with a possibility of going back up to the top there before they drop. Now, I'm not going to go to the details of explaining what patterns will eventually happen, how this is going to go up, if it's going to go up, and what we expect. But just so you know that that possibility exists. Now, that will be a tradable moment. But the first trade you're going to be looking for tomorrow morning when you're trading, I'm doing this webinar today, Sunday, midday for me. So that'll be tomorrow morning, Monday morning when you wake up in the Asian session. The first trade you'll be looking for is this sell to the bottom. Now, whether it is going to drop really fast or you'll get a correction here will all be up to, the market. And most likely, I don't even think you'll get a correction. So you'll have to have an entry order for this trade to happen. Now, could it get more complex than that rather than drop? It could, but very unlikely because this is a perfect running flat. And we have had flats like that expanding one. See what happened with that move. This is the move into it. Look at this one. See this regular flat. See what happened. They drop, they drop, they drop. So I expect this to drop. Now, it might make a small correction, and that would be your entry. That would give you the entry. Or if you don't get a correction, you have to use an entry order to enter the trade. You would also have to know how to manage it should it not go. Right? When it comes to the bottom here and it breaks this low, that's when you have to be very careful. Like this one. When it broke the low, they go back up. When it broke the low, they go back up. So when this breaks this low, that is when you have to be careful. Will it go back up or is it going to continue to fall? As it stands right now, you can make an argument for a pattern where this is going to go down. That is, you can look at this pattern and say, well, we probably have this correction in play, and that means this could drop. You could also look at it and say, well, if you change that pattern, is there another possible pattern that is valid? And it has to be a valid pattern. If there is another valid pattern, then would it possibly go back up and it will still be within the wave analysis theory of the patterns we're looking for? Of course. We're not going into details of what pattern it will be, but I'm telling you it possibly could happen. For the trading purpose, you're looking for a short, which you would have to manage. And last week in our trading room, we actually bought this and we actually sold it and we actually bought it again, which was a break-even trade, and we sold it again. We didn't buy anything into this because there was no buy setup, but we definitely will be selling it. So coming back to my explanation that I did a few weeks ago, why I've been doing this weekly analysis for a very, very long time. And some traders at some point in time might be able to take advantage of some of the currencies, but not all of them. Because when we say there's a sell setup in Aussie for next week, that sell setup might only be valid for a day. And then Aussie would come to the bottom, stop and go right back up. I explained that when this piece was coming down, that it could come and still go back up. I explained that when we were coming down with this one, that it could still come here and go back up. And I explained how that would change the structure, what you would look for. So in terms of what we do in the trading room, we update this 5 times a day. So in our trading room, we have at least 5 live sessions, 3 of which I am personally in for an hour and a half every day. 2 of those sessions, one normally starts before I come in the room, and one normally ends the New York session when I'm not in the room with the senior traders in there. So at least those sessions we have, and sometimes there are more. Sometimes I'm in 4 or 5 sessions myself if there's a lot of news event. So we get constant update on the given trade for the next couple hours. In a long-term session, you don't have a long-term trade when you're in a consolidation. In the long term, I'll tell you it's a sell setup. But would you buy it here and keep it through all that consolidation? Probably not. Would you buy it here and wait for it to go back to the top there and still be in the trade? Probably not. Especially if you know that it's going down, right? That's the problem. You don't know how high it's going to go against you before it goes down in this consolidation. So we get in and we get out of the trade as often as possible with profit. And that's how you're going to trade it. So we're looking for a sell setup here, and I'm going to go through all the majors for you. Good afternoon. My name is Anil Mangal. You might have seen some of my videos. If you haven't seen any of my video and you happen to stumble on this video accidentally for the first time, go watch my channel. You'll see a lot of very interesting videos. You'll see videos that are explaining to what wave analysis is and how it's going to help you. You will also see access to our live trading room, how you can get that. And the way you can get access to our live trading room is by sending me a message on Skype, right? So my Skype name is MANGAL 457. Let me type that. Sorry, that didn't type. MANGAL 457. Send me a Skype message. I'll give you all the details on how you can join our room. We had a special promotion not too long ago where if you cannot pay for the full course, you join the installment program, which is you pay whatever small sums you can every month until you paid for the course. But while you're paying that, we would give you access to the room. Now, a lot of traders who were like on the fence of whether they should join it or not eventually joined when we did the promotion. You join for you pay for 1 month, you get 2-month access to make your decision. And if you do stay with us, you pay every month. If you don't stay, well, that's it. You didn't like what we do. Well, the feedback from the group was amazing. So far, I don't think I've found anyone who says, hey, well, I took it, but I don't like it. We will see at the end of the 2 months who stay on and who go, but you have the idea, right? That it's working. What we're doing for traders who came in late, who saw the video late with the promotion, came and said, can I get the promotion? And we said, no, the promotion is up, but you can get, if you pay any time in this month, we will allow you not only to go for 1 month, but we'll allow you to go to the end of June. So you will get a month and a half, and some more traders join that one. So we leave that the same way here. If you pay now in this week, you get, it will allow you to stay until the end of June, and you're going to have access to 2 of our live webinars, the New York session and the London session. And you will also have the recording, the daily recording we do. 1 daily recording. The daily recording is everything. The rest of them is just trading sessions. We record everything once. The rest of it is trading sessions. If you're in the group, everything is recorded live in the group. So all sessions are recorded live in the group, right? If you're a full member. And then there's a lot more if you're a full member to go with, right? So we're not going to go into all of that details right now. Let's move on. I'm going to go through all the majors. I'm going to do Bitcoin. I'm going to do some of the stocks. And, you know, it's not going to be everything because, like I say, most of what I'm going to show you here might change by Monday afternoon or Tuesday. Start with dollar index. Dollar index went up some more. As you can see, I said, be careful when it breaks the top. And I told you last week that once we break the top, the chances are they can come down. But if you get a corrective structure, we sold that and we got out of the trade. As you can see, we bought it here. We bought, I don't remember if we took a trade here. I don't think we had a trade there for that one. And we're selling it from the top here, come back. So we're still looking for a sell setup here. Now, why are we looking for a sell setup if I think New Zealand is going to drop? Because the first thing that could happen is New Zealand consolidate a little more up and this actually drop 1 more here before it goes back up. Now, if this drop, New Zealand might just turn and go back up, and that would be a different trade. You will not be in the trade. It will just consolidate more up. I believe New Zealand is going to go down. It might even drop before the dollar index. So dollar index might stay in that consolidation. We're looking for a small trade here as it is, for 1 small trade. And then there's a good chance. If this goes up, we'll be buying it here. So there'll be an entry order to buy here if this goes up from there. And it could still go. This one, you see this one? We actually bought that. And this one, I don't think we had to buy. The buy setup was here. And then we got a buy. We'll look for a buy for this one going up. But the first one could be a drop. Silver, drop, made a consolidation. That is the buy. We were in the buy. I think they might have closed that trade Friday afternoon. It's not going. It's consolidating. The stop for that trade was here. And now we're looking for how far this can go. This is your first impulse up, impulse down, sorry. That's your first impulse down. We're making consolidation here. As far as we're concerned, this is making a consolidation for now. Can it go up all the way back to the top and break that top? Absolutely. So if this makes a flag here, we will be buying it. Right? It's already making a flag there. We'll look for buy setups. If that flag doesn't form, but instead it keeps dropping, instead this drops like that, and then make a flag here, we will be selling it, but we'll be selling it only to come and tag this low, which means we'll have an increase in the size of this channel looking pattern going down. It will have to confirm that it's actually going through this. With this sell, break the bottom, make another flag, and then we continue to sell. So as of now, there is no confirmed direction except for the upside that we think most likely is going to happen. I'll take all of these out because those are last week's trade that we were trading. All of those are trade and trade possibilities that we're looking for. We mark them because we always look at every one of them. Every single one of these, we'll come back and we'll look at them. We'll give you an update on what's happening to the trade, when we close the trade, why we close the trade, everything that could happen to the trade. So silver, it's a buy. Gold, buy. I think you can see the gold buy setup already. This will still be a buy. I still think there's upside. We'll be watching this move up here for the gold. That. So there's a good chance that it might just do this and come down. Right? So if this is going to go up, then there's a good chance dollar index keeps pulling down back and then go back up. So you get a pullback until we get there and then it could drop. So like I said, the pullback on the dollar index could be very slow. So keep an eye on it. It's coming down, but not as fast. This is going up. That's a buy. Can this break out of this structure to the upside? It can, but it's unlikely going to happen. Euro, more downside. I think we're going to get more downside here. And probably we might get this move. We're looking for a move similar to this one. After which, there's a good chance we'll go back up. So you might get a drop or a drop, 2 drops here more before you actually go back up. There's a very, very good chance they'll come to that low and then turn. So we'll see. Right now, it's a sell setup. You have a sell setup in the euro. Can euro break out of this channel it's in right now? And do we have a buy setup? We don't have a buy setup. It has to break the channel, make a buy setup, and then we'll go with it. Even if it makes a buy setup in here, maybe we'll consider. But right now, it's a sell setup, and this sell entry is going to go higher. Pang. We were waiting for this running flat. It did happen. It come there. So that's a running flat, a little higher than I expect. That's what it. And now we're looking for the sell. I think this is pretty clear. You don't need an explanation on that. You're going to get one more down there. We're trading this back to the low and a very similar structure on the pound as on the euro. I think we can come back to about here. As you can see, we do forecast, right? So our forecasts are like way ahead, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of what is going to happen. Right? We don't do forecasts like 1 minute only. We're looking for forecast. This should happen. You probably get our way here and then upside. Anywhere in here, you can get a deeper correction. We're looking for this pattern to be a running flat. Is it going to be a running flat? It really doesn't matter. That's the forecast. The forecast is if this happens, then we do this. So far, it's working good. It's going down, right? So great. That's you keep selling until it stopped doing that. And then you said, okay, wait a second. What's going on now? What possible pattern could it be making? And then you go on from that point. So right now, perfect. We're looking for sell setups. When you're in the trading room, I don't just give you the forecast that's going down. We tell you what's the entry point. We tell you what's the stop. We tell you how to manage that trade. But that's not something I can do here because the trade is not active as yet. I can't tell you how to manage the trade that's not active. So when we have an active trade going on, then we'll say, okay, guys, this is what we're doing with this trade. It's moving really good. Take profit. It's not moving. This is what we need to do to exit it. Right? So that's what you get when you join the trading room live. Aussie, I already explained that one. New Zealand, it's coming down, but we don't have a sell setup as yet. This was the buy in New Zealand Friday. This was a Friday trade. As a matter of fact, of all the pairs that we saw Friday morning, the only one we took the trade on was the New Zealand dollar on all the majors. And there's a specific reason for that, right? The specific setups that we had told us New Zealand will make a good move. If you look back at pound, if you look back at euro, if you look at Aussie, they went up, but really, really slow. There wasn't really a good trade to get there. So this was the only trade we took for the buy to come and break this stop and then probably keep it a little more if you want because there's another buy setup there. Now we're looking for the sell. Let's see if we get the sell. Do we get the sell or do they repeat this? You see, when they made that up move, they started to do this. So do we get a repeat of that and then drop? Or do we get a flag and we sell it? I don't know which one of that is going to happen. So any forecast I give you now would probably fail. It is good for me to wait Monday morning, you join us live, and we all get a flag here. And I said, okay, guys, we're selling. Or Monday morning, we get a reversal and we get a flag here. And we said, okay, be careful. We're going to be getting this happening here. So we're buying, we're selling, we're buying, we're selling until one of these drop, which means every sell we will take until it drop like this again, right? Is it repeating that pattern? Could it repeat that pattern? Absolutely. But is the pattern being repeat? We don't know. And you would never know that. That's a guesswork if you said with one piece up and one piece down. If you're making a forecast that that is exactly what it's going to do, good luck to you. You can guess well. We are not in the business of guessing. We're in the business of saying this is what we have. And structurally, this is what it can do. Right? Right now, it can do either of those two. So I will wait for the setup and then I'll take the trade. Big picture, downside. Regardless of which one of those two I give you happen, big picture, downside. We're looking for a sell setup, regardless of whether it makes a few more up here and then drop, or it makes a flag here and we're selling it way back to the bottom. Big picture, downside. Yen. Okay, we're at the top. This one is amazing. I hope a lot of my traders got the trade because we were leaving. I was leaving the room Friday afternoon, and I actually said to my traders, be careful. This thing normally drops on a Friday afternoon in a quiet market when they want to drop it when it's at an extreme level. I think that was a question one of my traders asked me again in the next session. Why you think Friday afternoon? If there's no reason I think so, I've just seen it before. I've seen that happen to the yen before when we were expecting big moves. So what you would do is either put an entry here or here, and you're going for this trade. Right? It happened, great. If you manage to take some profit out at this point, you got that profit, you call it a day, and you close your trade for Friday. So what's next? Is it upside or is it downside? In the big picture, it should go down. In the big picture of things, it should go down. Now, can New Zealand go down and yen go down? Oh, we've seen that happen before. Keep your eyes on all the yen pairs, right? So if yen starts to go down and all the majors are going down, good for you. You've got some amazing trades coming in the yen pairs. If not, this would have to go back up and make a new high. For that to happen, you'd have to have a flag here, and then we'll be looking at that flag, considering the buy to the top, maybe come back down, go back there, come back down, go back there, or break out to any one of that. Right? That's for the upside possibility. For the downside, all it has to do is drop. We'll be selling. Right? I'm expecting this move down first. First that move, and then we'll see. Remember, the bigger picture of this is still downside. This is still a correction. It's just becoming a bigger correction. Now, two ways you can look at this. You can assume that this is the running flat. And if you make that assumption, then this will totally drop to the bottom here and then go back up, breaking this low. Right? That's one option. Oh, sorry, no, it doesn't have to break the low. My fault. We already broke the top. So in that case, it will just come here and go back up. Or we're doing this running flat, 1, 2, 3, come here, go back up there, then come here and then go back up. Which of the two? That's irrelevant to your trading. Both of them are the first move, and both of them is downside. So as soon as that downside starts, you should be in the trade. That's it. That's the whole point. You get an edge in the market. If it happens, you take it. CAD, well, we're stuck in a sideways move here for a very, very long time. You can already see that, right? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 impulses. So we're going to be in this piece for a while, and then in this piece for a while, and then in this piece for a while, and then we're going to probably drop. So if you can trade in there, good for you. If you can't trade in there, don't do it. Right? So I can do all the pieces, but that would just take. You notice I have the first flag here, right? The first flag, 1, 2, 3. So that's the first correction we're expecting. We're expecting this to come back here, make this flat, go back up there, come back here, go back there, come back here, go back there, drop. Similar to that. Not exactly that, but you get a point. Swiss, yep. Now that it didn't go higher, we're looking for that to go one higher. It came down. The entry order for that trade should have been here if any of my traders took it. I was out of the room by then, but that would be the entry order for that sell. Now, what do we expect? Take this out. That was the buy. Well, let's see if we get the same thing. If you remember last week, I was telling you this is 1, 2, 3. This should be 1, 2, 3, come back here. And then they went up. I said, if it comes back to this level, we're not going to sell it. Right? Because then it will go break the top. Well, guess what? It's here now. And depending on how you look at this whole piece, This could either drop to the bottom, or it could come here and come a little lower and go one more up. You would go, this is a running flat. You can look at it this way. If you take this out and put it here, the possibility is you're looking at a running flat with this. You're looking at a running flat there. So this could come just about one more here, go right back up there, and then drop. Or totally take off. Right? What if this is a running flat for an up move that is now starting? And this is the low of that move. That possibility exists. I don't think that's the low of the move, because I think the low of the move has to break this low. So I think this is a deeper correction where they might come one more here, go back there, and then drop. Now, what if this is going to drop? Then you will get a consolidation here, and we'll just sell it to come and break this low. So wait for the consolidation, sell, and the up move you can buy in a flag. Right? I'll bring this back down here because I'm not sure that we don't have the confirmation of that pattern happening as yet, but it's very likely. Another likelihood is maybe the pattern was here. What if that was the pattern? Then you have 1, 2, 3, and this is totally going to drop. So which one of those two? Both of them is okay. Both of them look perfect to me. You could go with both of those patterns and they'll be perfect. There's enough sharp waves inside to make other patterns. So we'll wait now and we'll see which one it is. And once we get a confirmation for the sell, we'll be selling. I'll skip all of that. We'll go through to DAX because it's going to be a very long webinar. You can get all of that if you join us live. We do every single thing. And again, like I said, it's going to cost you less than a coffee to join us, right? You will get, if you join the full group, you will get 5 live sessions a day. That's 5 live sessions multiplied by 5 working day, multiplied by 4 weeks in the 5 working day in the weeks, multiplied by 4 weeks in the month, and all of that for just a small symbolic $100, which will go to pay for your course. That $100 is it's not a subscription fee. You're not subscribing to us. You're going to get all those webinars for free if you stayed and pay for the course. And the course will train you to be an independent trader. The course will teach you to do what I do, to analyze the chart the way I analyze the chart. That's the course, training you, not just sitting with us and trading, but actually train you to do it exactly the way I do. So you can make your choice in that. Let's go. I'm going to go to, let's do some of the stocks. I think that would work. And then we'll go to Bitcoin. So let's do oil. Let's start with oil. US oil. UK oil. That's UK oil. US oil. US oil is going sideways. I think you can see this. This was a trade. If you take, once it breaks that top, you have to look for exit strategy. It's coming back here. I think we're going to make a flat like this, and then we're going up. So there might be one more sell here, and then you're going up. How deep this comes, well, that depends. It could come all the way back to the bottom, and then we'll be looking for one more up and then downside. Most likely, once it breaks the top, it will go back. So if this comes pretty deep, if this comes like work its way down here and then go back up like this, we'll get a flat here. And then this will drop. Can this drop a little, make a deeper correction, drop a little, make a deeper correction, drop here, and then go back up and then do that? Well, that's the correction. That's how it could come down. So if you're going to trade in it, you have to understand how it could develop and understand when a trade is possible and when a trade is not worthwhile taking. S&P 500. Okay, so we're coming down from that top. Let me just show you the bigger structure. We were trading this, the S&P 500, we didn't buy the first flag that we saw because the risk was it's not going to break that up. Now that you've broken that up, you have to come back down, right? So this could have made one more here and then drop. So that trade would have been a really, really careful trade. You could make one more, but it looks like they're coming back here. They have to make this flat. You have to get this flat, and then you're likely going to go back up before you come down. We're trying to do this. So we'll look for a sell setup first. And the sell setup would only be to make a running flat. So if you take that out, you can get a sell setup here that might come to make this flat. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait for any flag here and go for that sell. If this doesn't happen and they decide to go back up, we'll buy it above the top. The upside is limited in that it might not go very far. The downside is a much better trade. NASDAQ was a good one because we bought it. We bought this. I think you can see that very clearly. And we're waiting for another buy here too. Well, so far this is not going, but it still looks like a buy. That still looks like a buy. If it stays here longer, we'll consider the sell. NASDAQ has a different structure. We're literally breaking out of everything. See this? And that means the upside has more to go. Right? So this could continue to go more, even if S&P 500 comes down. So don't put the two as going the same direction. That's not necessarily so. There's a reason why we bought this and we didn't buy the S&P 500. We didn't buy the US 30. We didn't buy it. We saw the up move, but we didn't take it because it's within this flat, and that means it's not going to go very far. Actually, I expect this to stay in this range for a while. You might get short-term trades. You might get long-term trades. You might get short-term trades, very short trades within that. And then we expect this to drop. If it stays in that range, we expect not from here anymore, but from somewhere here. If this stays in this range, we're expecting it to drop, and the drop could come pretty deep. Right? If that stays in the range the way it is, we could be coming back to retest this low before we go. So keep an eye on these patterns. This would be a big pattern that will complete here and then start going back up. Nifty, wait for a correction. It's making a flat here and then it's going to go break the top. That will take a while. We bought this one here. You can see that, and there's a reason for it. This was an amazing trade. I think we were in the trading room and it was at the bottom here. It was right in here, and somebody asked, should we sell it? Is it going to come back? I'm like, nope, put an entry to buy, because this is going to go up. This was a small buy here also, but they might have closed that already. We'll wait for another buy. We broke this top, so we're at an all-time high now, I think, if I remember that clearly. It's an all-time high. So what you're going to do here is going to be careful. It might still go a little more, but anytime soon they'll start to pull back. Right? Every time you break the top, they'll tend to pull back somewhat. Tesla. Okay, so we're consolidating more here, right? They're kind of consolidating more in this range. And if they do this, they'll drop one more. This will eventually break out. But this piece doesn't look like the piece that will break out, because this piece is very coming on and very corrective. And if it stays corrective, we'll consolidate much more before we break out. But it looks like you're making an attempt here to break out. So you can take buy setups to come back to the top. If it starts to drop, sell it back to the low, buy back to see if it breaks up. Bitcoin, still in the sideways move. Nothing has changed. This one is kind of going sideways here more. You're getting a much bigger flat. This will probably come down, go back up there. You'll get a big flat here. It's going to drop again. And then we'll start to look for those sharp moves before it goes. If it stays like this, it's upside. Would it change structurally? Which means, would this drop really sharp? If that drops really sharp, well, then that changes the whole structure. As of now, we're making a consolidation for upside. And this piece looks like it can go down somewhere. I think you can get one more drop here. That would still be within this flat. I don't think it's going to totally drop, but you can take that trade and see what happens when it comes there. Because if this goes back up, you get a flat here. Right, then when you get that flat, this would be another drop similar to this. And then we will see if we get all these shorter waves up and down that we have here start to happen here before you go one more down and then up. So it all depends on what happens to this big flat, how far it dropped. That changes. You will still get all those pieces, but that changes how you look at the structure, right? Whether it's downside structure, upside structure. As of now, that's an upside correction. Can we come and retest this low before it goes? Well, that is possible. We're not excluding that possibility, but we don't have any setup right now saying that is what it's going to do. ETH, I think you can see the same. I already explained this. When you break that top, we're either going to do this and then go back up, or we're coming to break the low and then go back up. It looks so, as it's going down now, if you look at the way it's going down, we're literally trying to do this, which means this will stay here for a while, drop here, and then we might go back up. We will do this and then go back up. So I don't know, maybe this will pull back deep and drop again and then go back up. That will give us a running flat pattern. One more up. Right? In the big picture of things, I don't think we're totally going up as yet. Because with this amount of consolidation here, we will make a new low before they go back up. Right? It's likely we'll go back up, but I don't think this is the one trying to do that. We'll see. Remember, this one was really, really slow too. Really slow before they take off. So this could be the coming here as the slow start. This one could be, you see that flat in there? Let me make that flat bigger and show you what it looks like. Go back to this. See what happened here? They made a move up and you had a really big flat here. So if you take that big flat to be this one that we're doing right now, which means we make a move here, and then they come back and they make a really big flat here, come like this, makes this flat, and then start to take off. Of course, we'll buy it here, but then we'll see how high that goes. At that point of time, if you'd ask me what I think this would do at this point of time, my analysis would go like this. 1, 2, go back to the top here, break this top, and the chances are this would come back here before it goes. That would exactly be how I would look at the charts at that point of time, right? But after it came down here and started to go back up, see, this came down here and this one started to go back up. Once you get that flat there above this top, that changes everything. That's your buy. So now that we know that they can do this and take off, when this finish and when this comes to the bottom here, we're likely looking for a buy that we think might continue to go much more. Of course, you're going to be buying and closing, unless you're an investor. Then you'll buy and hold it for a longer period of time, right? So those are the ones I wanted to show you. I hope you actually enjoy these webinars. I hope you really want to learn this stuff more, because it's the only type method that allows you to do forecasts and allows you to understand what's happening in the structure when it's not going. Like you sell it, but it's not going. You can relook at the structure in a lower time frame, say the 15 minutes, and then say, you know what, this doesn't look like it's going to go now. Structurally, it might go in the 4 hour or in the 1 hour, but it needs to go up first. So I would get out of the trade while I still have positive, put an entry lower, and then wait for the trade to go. How do you do that? You can only do that if you understand all the depth of the analysis. In the trading room, we do that for you. But the trading room is more about trading, not learning. And for those traders who join, about 3 traders, I think, already joined the room full-time, which means they join us and they decide they want to learn this full-time. So if you think you want to learn it full-time, but you're not sure you want to pay that kind of money to do it, because you'll have lifetime access for that kind of money, which is nothing compared to what you're going to get in the room, right? But you don't want to pay it because you're not sure what we're doing, and that is the normal reaction. I don't know what the hell this guy is doing. Why should I pay him money? So what you can do is just pay for the 1 month. You have a month to decide that, and after a month, you can make a decision. You know what? I like what I'm getting. It's helping me. I'm making progress. I'm understanding the charts better, and my account is growing. Or you know what? That thing is not helping. And that should be what you should do with any guru out there. Anybody who's offering you to teach you anything or so, you look at their results, you look at what they're trading, you look at whether that could help you in the first place. Maybe what we're doing is great, but it's not helping you, right? That's the point. Or you don't want this. You're looking for something else. Then it will be useless to you. But if you want to be a serious trader, if you want to learn to analyze the charts independently, and you want to be making your trades independently in the future, not with us or not with anybody, then this is for you, right? This doesn't have any specific set of mechanical rules that, hey, you just do this and start praying that it works. Because the chart keeps changing. And if it keeps changing and you're praying, you have a sell and it's not going your way, but because you have a buy and an entry and a stop, you're going to just sit and pray and that it goes to your target, well, then good luck to you. Because the market really doesn't know what you have. And the market cares less what you have, right? If there's a moving average there, or a trend line there, or a fib there, or whatever you put, and you say, well, it's going to that, and then it's going to stop there, and then, well, good luck with that. The market is going to teach you a lesson that, hey, sorry, we don't have a fib there. We don't have a support and resistance there. We don't have a pivot point there. Actually, you know what? We don't have anything there. This is just data. And data that are plotting what's actually happening in the market. So if there's a transaction, we plot it in here. And because you're looking at a chart that is plotted in time and price, there's no support and resistance in it. There's no pivot point. There's no fib point to which it's going to turn. There simply isn't that. There's a structure to it. There's a kind of patterns that are created by what they do in the market. And whether or not that pattern will go in your direction, well, you have to study the past and see how many of those you have and how many work. So you study 1,000 of this similar pattern, and you notice that 80% of them went in your direction. Congratulations, you're on the right side. That's all it is to it. The market is not going to stop at any given point because you have something there. Especially retail traders believe that thing, because retail traders like to put things on their chart. We like to put all these lines and all these moving averages and all these Ichimoku clouds and all these, and color the chart to be beautiful. The more we have in the chart, the more we feel we're a serious trader. Like, look what I have on my chart. Look at my chart, how amazing it looks. Good luck with that. Ask the people who are actually moving the market if they have that on their charts, if they have a chart at all. Because all they might have is some data points, not a chart. Data point is where the price is, where it was, and where they would like it to go. How much percentage they're going to charge on any given transaction. What's the volume of the transaction they have to do? And that's about it. They don't have a moving average they're waiting, and they don't have a pivot point they're waiting on. They're making transactions. But all those transactions combined creates a pattern. So make a choice. What do you think is going to help you in this trading if you really, really want to be successful? Have a great weekend. Have a great week ahead of you. Trade with care. And if you would like to join me, one more time, the Skype link is in the description. Click on the link. You will get on the Skype if you don't have Skype. Send me a message. And the reason we are using Skype is because all your information that we get in terms of the conversation we have is stored there for years. And if you, for any reason, leave, and there have been people who joined the installment program once, paid 1 month, disappeared. We never heard from them. And we don't pest you with all kinds of emails. Hey, come do. We don't do that. You'll find that as a weird thing you're going to find is once you join, we don't really pester you. Right? We don't keep sending you emails every 5 seconds and every hour and every day. We don't have the time to do that. We're not in the sales business, put it that way. So you will be there and you will disappear after the month, and we might not recognize it after like 2 months. Hey, this guy is not turning up to the trading room anymore. What happened? Oh, well, he didn't extend his thing, right? It's an auto function. Once you don't pay, the function stops you from access to the thing, and we wouldn't know that until we might check it once a month, once every 2 months, and then we'll see you're not there, and we might send you a message, hey, would you like to continue? And traders do continue. There are traders who would paid for like 2-3 months, leave for 6 months, come back and just continue paying from where they left off. That money doesn't go anywhere. We're not going to tell you, hey, your money disappeared because you left. This is not about the money. Because if it was about the money, that's exactly what we tell you. There were traders who came back and were surprised that we actually gave them back the money they previously paid 6 months ago. They were like, can I continue? I was like, yeah, sure. And then we add up the money they had and like, oh, I get those money back. I'm like, sure, we're not charging you for what you had. You're paying for your course, and you pay it however you can afford to pay. And once you reach the price of the course, you don't have to pay anything else for the rest of your life. You will learn to trade. That's it. That's what we do. So we will try our best to make you a good trader so that your results will change. Now, would it change? I can't guarantee you that. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball to tell you who's going to be successful and who won't. But we can tell you that there are a lot of successful traders in our group. That's the only thing I can tell you. Now, whether you're going to be one of them, up to you, not to me. How much you're going to put in, how much you're going to implement the strategies correct, how much you're going to literally put in the hard work to learn what we're teaching you and follow the rules. That's all there is to it. Nothing more, nothing less. Have a great weekend and have a great week ahead of you. Thank you. Bye.